make a motion, we accept the standard workday for elected and appointed officials. Second. Roll call?
Hilton.
Aye.
Burns.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
And Murray.
Aye.
4 ayes, 0 nays, and 3 abstains.
And was there anyone else planning on attending the conference in April? Okay, so you're okay with paying for it? Carol, are you gonna go to the conference in April? Seth?
I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay. Was there a deadline?
There wasn't any.
There was, and I'd sent the email.
Okay.
I don't know what the deadline.
Yeah,
March,
well,
I think.
let Sue know, just in case you wanna go at kind of last minute.
Well, if you go, you're gonna have to pay for it yourself, and then
Right.
I'll reimburse you. So you might as well go ahead and fill out your form and send it directly to them.
Okay.
And then when you get back, then we'll do up a check request or voucher.
Okay, and then, Sue, do you wanna discuss the check scanner from Five Star Bank?
Oh, I talked to Five Star Bank about a check scanner that I could rent for, normally it's $40 a month. They said that they would rent it to me for $25 a month. And what that does is, it would only be during tax season when I have all the checks. And what I can do is run those checks through that check scanner. It goes directly to the bank, so I don't have to go down and deposit. I can do it within the 24 hours if they want you to do the deposits. I don't need to know right now, it's just a thought about it. They would come and do training and set it up. You only have to pay for the months that we use it. So I thought, with what I charge for mileage, to go do a deposit every 24 hours, probably washes. So, but think about it, I won't need to know until next tax
They
day.
only charge the months we had it.
Pardon me?
They only charge the months we had it,
Yes.
not just storing it or anything.
Yeah, they'll shut it down so you can't use it.
So it'd be about 3 months.
It would be 3 months, January, February, March. And as far as the dog licensing, a lot of people pay cash, so I wouldn't want to use it during that time. But for 25, that would be great.
But they come up and train you too?
Pardon?
They would come up and train you as well?
Yes, they will come up and
And
train.
if there's an issue, they're gonna get right on it?
Well, I would hope
I feel
so.
the reason I'm saying is because we had it at the county, where did you get it? Did you use the check thingy at the county? What were the issues with it? Weren't there problems sometimes?
It's through Steuben community.
Oh.
Occasionally there is,
Did it work pretty good though?
for the most part.
Maybe it was the operator.
I can ask them also who else in the area has them, and I can talk to them too. But like I said, you don't know, no decision now, just
Yeah.
think
It would
about
be
it.
very handy for you.
What will
It
happen
would
to
be
the
very
checks?
handy for you.
Pardon?
What will happen to the checks?
They'll, oh, I'm not sure.
They-
I'm not sure if are they taken down there, or
They
you just
stay.
keep them, right?
Yeah, the county keeps the checks.
Yeah, so I would keep the checks.
Do you shred them after
Oh, yeah.
I do after, yeah.
after they
the
clear maybe?
deposit goes through.
Well, no, there's a wait period, about 6 months.
Okay. Okay. Well, like I said, I'll talk to some other people and find out what they do. Like
I think
said,
it's
I don't know
beneficial.
anything about it. Pardon?
I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, okay.
You could have a policy, I'm sure you could put it in the same or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a reason.
When would you, so you're, September, we talked about this again?
September, October.
Okay.
is on there.
So give us some thought.
To include your phone tax.
Okay, next up, there's gonna be a Bear and Wind informational hearing. It's gonna be here at the Fremont Town Hall, so April 12th. So there'll be a town meeting the day before, but it's gonna be 1 PM, informational session, 2 PM as a public statement hearing, and then at 6 PM, the informational session, and then at 7 PM, the public statement hearing. So
It's on the
please,
website.
it's on the website. I encourage everyone to come to one of the sessions and, get the information and make a statement if you'd like. And then Jason Dagger's here. He has a few things to talk about.
Thanks, Emily. Good afternoon or evening, I guess it is. And you know, the roads were awesome until you got about 20 miles from here. So, yeah, we go. Welcome to Fremont. I'm Jason Dagger. Most of you know me. I serve as the project manager and director of development for Barron Winds and RWE Renewables. Just wanted to give you a quick update, and I spoke with Emily there right before we had the meeting, started the meeting tonight. She said she was going to update you on the informational meeting, and that was my job as well tonight, to make sure that you're well aware. We will also be sending notices out and make sure that everybody's aware of that informational meeting. Kind of the steps forward, and I wanted to give everybody kind of a timeline update of the wind project. So most of you are aware that phase one in the other three towns, we are fully operational. We still have to do remediation and reclamation work yet that'll happen this spring. So we still have to go through that process. There was a little bit done this fall, but it's not complete yet. We're still doing some fine tuning on those machines that are up and operational there, and that'll occur, over the course of the winter here, and we'll get those things dialed in. So that piece is operational and ready to go. So phase two, which is in the town of Fremont, the 26 machines that we've proposed here, we are going through the amendment process with the state right now. That process looks something like this. So we, as well as the town, some interested parties will be supplying direct testimony over the next few weeks. We will have this informational meeting April 12th, and then that will be followed by a evidentiary hearing May 15th. We would expect a decision sometime in the late June, July, August timeframe. That's up to the judge on when that decision would be handed down. Our hope is that we could start tree clearing next winter. When I say winter, November through March would be our hope to do tree clearing. But that's up to the schedule of when we would have a decision, and then when we could turn around and hire a contractor and move forward right after that. So that's a little bit in flux, and the schedule's drawn out a little bit more than what we actually thought it would be based on our experience in the past. We filed this amendment, excuse me, in September of last year, and we at that point thought that we would have this process moved, would have started back in, say, October, but here it is really in March, and we're just getting the process going. So we've lost some time on that. Consequently, one of the things that I think I updated the board in December when I was up here, I think I had shared with you all that we would be sending out our well test letters, and we would be testing the wells. That was with the assumption that the hearing process would be starting imminently at that point. Since we are delayed, it only makes sense for us to delay that well testing as we get closer to construction. There's no sense to send out the well testing, do the well testing that you folks have requested, and then have a big hiatus between then and when we would actually start construction. So I don't believe that we will do that well testing until probably more like the June timeframe now, just based on the schedule moving forward, so that we're closer to the start of construction. Just knowing that that's a concern of yours, I wanted to make sure that we had an understanding of where that is. That's pretty much the schedule of what we see today. I wanted to give you a couple other updates, and at the start of the meeting, Councilman Burns shared the news of Jane Towner. Jane Towner has worked on and off for the Barron, well, I shouldn't say on and off, for the Barron Winds project basically since its inception as our community liaison through Everpower and Energy, and now RWE, which I've been through the whole process. But in Ohio, I've got to know Jane and respected her for all her work that she had helped us with up here with the different project managers. We lost her here shortly, and that's a big loss for us. We looked to, she had done different pieces of working with our landowners and helping us, move the project forward. So we're not sure exactly what we're going to do to replace her yet at this point. We do have, if you're familiar with Adam Landis is a local individual that actually works for RWE and is one of our site managers up on the project right now. I've asked Adam to help me out just with some additional, local community work. You may see Adam come to a board meeting or be out in the community. Hopefully you get to know Adam. Adam's a local guy. I mean, I can't remember which road he lives on, but he's been in the community his whole life. So hopefully Adam's going to help me a little bit, as well as I'll be up here for the next couple months. To your town meeting if there's questions or concerns. We also in the process, unfortunately for me, one of my good friends and you've got to know her, Stephanie Otti, was presented an unbelievable opportunity by a competitor of ours, and she is moving on to greener pastures with I don't think it's greener pastures, but she has an excellent opportunity to better and further her career. So she's going to be with me till the end of the week, and then she is moving on. Unfortunately, big loss for me, but we'll continue to move forward. Stephanie has a lot of this in a really good spot, but I'm going to miss her knowledge and experience from the previous years. And I still have other folks that have been around the project since its inception as well, but she's a big loss. Those are the basic updates. I don't know, Emily, if you would permit any questions at this time, or if you want to wait till later, or how you want to handle that.
Yeah, we can keep it, wind-related stuff right now.
Yes. Yeah.
If anyone has any questions for Jason, go ahead, Tom.
I think it was the last meeting or the meeting before, we had 2 or 3 people here complaining about the noise. So I was wondering what your mediation is for the DBA. What do you guys plan for that?
Good question. So we have had some noise complaints. We have one individual that's complained or registered several complaints, and we have I have 3 or 4 others that I'm aware of. There's a complaint hotline. As well as an email. If there are complaints out there in the community, we need those to come through that process so we understand where they're at to register them and we can track them. We have ongoing noise monitoring that has started and commenced once we became operational, and we're trying to get an understanding of where those complaints are coming from. This state is out in the area this week also assisting with that to understand, if we're in violation or if we're at the thresholds that are permitted. Yeah. I don't have a firm answer at this point if we're in violation or if we're not, or if it's something with the machine, a specific machine or 2 specific machines. I would say over the next few weeks we'll have a better understanding of that. But I do feel good that we only have, it's not all of our landowners in the whole community. It's a handful at this point. And I think part of that is us getting the technology up operational, just like, you'd have a new car, getting the bugs worked out. So that's...
So do you normally slow them down? I mean, what do you do?
So there's there's parameters of decibel levels that we have to stay under. There's thresholds. It's a little bit challenging for me to explain all of it, and to be 100% honest, I don't understand exactly how all they operate, but there's noise reduction modes at different wind speeds. The machine generates different sounds, and those are curtailed based on those wind speeds and those wind directions. Yeah. We're dialing those in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, do the ones in Cohocton, they have the serrated blades or no?
Yes, those are all. So The Vestas machines have serrated blades. Those are the larger, taller ones. Off the top of my head, Tom, I can't remember if the shorter Siemens have those. I believe they do because we have those at Scioto Ridge.
Okay.
But yeah,
And when did you actually become operational?
February 7th.
February 7th. Okay.
Yep, February 7th.
And one other thing, I can let Dan go. So I'm not sure how I understand this, where I talked about earlier about where you were putting down all roads, and then you say the bonding is only for phase one, but the town did not allow you to use Holmes Road and Babcock, but now you're doing bonding for it. And so Babcock and Holmes were not part of phase one, they were phase two, so I'm a little confused on what's.
That was, if I recall, we did have a misunderstanding of what was approved for Holmes and Babcock. I think the request was to go back and make sure that we had the bond for that, and that's what we did. We included that larger letter of credit for that.
But
Yeah.
Tom wanted the road, there was pipes, he said, were bad, when we met this summer.
Yeah.
And there was an agreement, you guys would replace those pipes and fix the roads, and then you said, nope, we're not gonna use those roads.
We did not use that
And then
portion,
you
that's
used them
correct.
anyway.
I didn't realize that we used that portion anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I've sent so many videos
Yeah.
to Randy,
Okay.
low boys with dozers, service trucks. I posted it for 8 tons, concerned about that pipe. I mean, I've got more pictures.
Do you think we did damage to that road too?
Well, of course you did, yeah. You're gonna do damage on any of those roads when you're bringing heavy equipment up it like that,
Look-
sure.
Okay, that's something we can certainly bring up. Let's have Labella look at that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have Lavelle.
And I'm gonna call them tomorrow,
Okay.
and
Before Dan goes real quick, back to the noise complaint. The individual has logged quite a bit of data. How come you guys didn't get right out there and put it in more heavy NRL mode so he didn't have to suffer for the last month or two?
Yeah, so,
Why do you just keep letting it run and letting him
yeah.
just constantly say, hey, there's a problem, and nothing's done?
So we are going by the complaint protocol that we have to abide by, that was approved by the DPS. And that, the procedure that we followed is under their governance. It's not maybe exactly what everybody wants to
You guys could go
understand.
above and beyond and
So we did.
make it right for.
We did. I think there's some legal questions out there on that, of those complaints. Yeah. So it's just not it's not as simple as running out and just turning the machine down. One thing we have to understand is if there's actually an issue, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Because he's logging 53 decibels.
Yes,
A
we're
lot, that is.
we're aware of that.
Yeah.
It's trying to understand if that is a violation or not. The perception is that it is based on what he has put on the DPS. We're still trying to understand if the way that is being done is accurate.
Well, I know you guys want to average it over 8 hours, and you can have highs and lows in an 8
Sure.
hour period, and you're right where you want to
Yeah.
be.
And again, we're doing that under the direction of the DPS. Yep. And they are out there monitoring that as well.
Dan?
I just have a couple of things.